Greetings in the name of Jesus, and may His peace and joy and grace be multiplied to you this year. 2014 is going to be a very different year than anyone has ever seen. I feel in my spirit that there is going to be great changes upon the earth and in society as a whole. And I want God to protect those who are seriously desiring to walk with Him and who are seriously desiring to continue to teach His Word and to preach His Word. Because as evil increases, by the same degree, goodness and purity must decrease. We've seen that happen in our society time and time and time again. You ask me, you say, well, Prophet Pentecost, are you saying that the Lord's going to come back next year? No, I'm not. But it wouldn't surprise me. Jesus said, of this time and the hour knoweth no man, not even the Son, not even the angels in heaven, but only the Father. And so when God's great and magnificent patience, long-suffering wears out, then we are going to see the end of mankind as we know it. We're going to see the end of the earth as we know it, that we dwell upon. But I believe that change, as it always has been, will come very slow. And the enemy of your soul, the man of perdition, is going to make some very startling adjustments this year. He's been laying back. He's been kind of taking it easy, and he's been kind of taking it on the chin. But he's no fool. He's no fool. As a matter of fact, he has the craftiness of one who has orchestrated the greatest disasters, the greatest massacres, the greatest inhumanities to mankind since the beginning of the dawn of time, or since the dawn of mankind. And so he's going to be well versed at it. And he knows exactly what he's there for. He knows exactly how he intends to accomplish what he's going to accomplish. But in order to get the people behind you, at least at first, he's going to have to do some agreeable things. He can't just jump into things and start arresting people and start killing people. There will be a time when it will show in human logic that it might be better to maybe even thin out the population. God has told us of these things in Revelation. And it's up to Him to do with these prophecies what He desires to do. And we found out through thousands of prophecies that if there's one that will not bring the prophecy to pass, God will bring it through another one. But His will be accomplished in the earth. And so in 2014, you're going to see some changes in nature. You're going to see some very... It looks like God has deserted the world. It will look like God has crossed us off altogether. But believe me, He hasn't. He wants to leave the memory of the damage and the utter destruction and the scar that sin left upon his perfect universe. He wants us to remember so that we do not take that trail again. Man was innocent at the beginning. He fell because of his innocence and possibly even his desire not to be innocent. But he fell because he made a decision. And that decision was to go his own way, to not listen to the vibrations and the rhythms of the universe, God's universe, but just to do what he wanted to do. Do what felt good. Do what tasted good. Do what seemed good in his own eyes. And so 2014, you're going to see this amplified. You're going to see it come to a crescendo. And I believe that you're going to see civil war in the United States. Certainly toward the end of the year, when people are so dissatisfied. We cannot continue shaking our fist at God in the laws that we pass, in the laws that we ignore. We cannot continue doing that and survive as a race. Now, is there any chance for change? I doubt it. Because you can get only so far from a strong point. You can only get so far from an influence, and that influence no longer draws you. That influence no longer has a memory or leaves a memory in you, and there is no desire to go back to it. It has lost its influence on you. And this is what godliness and righteousness has come to in the world. We have lost our interest in being pure and righteous. Now, religion is another thing. We still have that empty place in our being that was made or created by the taking away of God's presence from the Garden of Eden, and that always has to be filled. So we do it with entertainment. We do it with all kinds of study and religion and everything like that. But it's not going to fill what God was supposed to fill with himself. It just won't do it. And so anybody that is listening to me can poo-poo this all he wants to, or they want to. They can all fashaw. There's no truth to it. But truth is a funny animal. Truth will always show up. Doesn't matter how man tries to distort it, it will always show up. Because if there's anything that is eternal, vibrant, and profound, it's the truth. You can tell a million lies to cover one truth, but that truth still stands on its own. And the truth is, this is God's universe. He intended to do something with it. He's going to intend to do something with it. He will do something with it. And he will accomplish all of the things that are in his heart. Now, man, we have a 50-50 chance that I'm right. We have the 50-50 chance that you're right. Would you take your life savings? on a 50-50 chance to the casino? I know I wouldn't. But you would gamble your eternal soul on a 50-50 chance. It's either yes or no. God is out there or he isn't. And when that death angel comes and the breath is taken for the last time, we find out the truth. But it's too late to come back and to restart. God help us in this year that we realize that the hammer is about to fall. God's great fist is going to slam down on this earth. He is a God of righteousness. By that very nature, he must judge unrighteousness. They cannot dwell, they cannot exist in the same universe. God bless you. God keep you. And I'm not doing these videos to get a big name or to have a great following. I'm doing these videos because God put it upon my heart to try to instruct people. Try to steer them toward the scriptures and what the scriptures say. And that's why I don't give the reference. I want you to search it out. I want you to take that idea and search it on Bible.com or something like that. And then I want you to read the whole chapter. I want you to get the idea of the situation around what was going on and what was said. And then I want you to go to God and ask him for wisdom in this thing. And he will surely give it to you. He wants you to understand him. He wants to restore that fellowship that was lost. So it's up to us to search. Not to argue, not to hit each other with doctrine, not to hit each other with customs and isms and schisms, but the true message of God. Whosoever shall seek shall find. Knock and it shall be opened to you. God bless you. Keep in the scriptures. If you need to write me for any reason, my address is aprof617 at gmail.com. That's APROPH617 at gmail.com. God bless you. Maranatha.